What's going on, y'all? Thanks for tuning back into the Hook 937 YouTube channel. Hey, if you just seen this video pop up and you're like, man, I ain't seen him in a while, let me see what he's been up to. I appreciate y'all clicking on this video. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Hook 937, and what we do on this channel is primarily automotive content. I know I've been on a hiatus for about 3 years, and there's a lot of reasons leading up to that. And I know that y'all probably got a lot of questions. Hook, where you been? Hook, what you been up to? What happened at that GTO, and probably some more questions. And we could dive into most of that stuff later on. As far as the GTO, that's probably the only big one I'm going to touch on right now, and I'll tell you guys up front, we don't have the GTO anymore. And that was a pretty hard decision for me to make, and it's kind of taken me a long time to get back into this recording thing. I'm in the military, and as you guys know, the military, we kind of have to move every now and then. Some of y'all already know this. And they sent me to a new location here. So we're in California. We've been in California for almost 3 years now, and we still have a considerable amount of time left. And that's just not a car that could work for me in my current condition, my current location. And so that's something that we had to give up. It was just kind of sitting around rotting, and we tried to make the best decision on that. Into that, I have content filmed on that GTO before we let it go and stuff like that. And again, if you guys want to see that stuff, just drop that comment down below and let me know. But there's not going to be any new content on that. All that stuff aside, what I really want to be talking about is this. This is my 2001 Harley Davidson Dyna FX DXT. The T stands for Touring Sport, known as the T Sport. And this bike is very special to me. Me and this bike, we have a lot of history together. I bought this bike used in 2012, and I've got a lot of memories, a lot of stories on this bike. I've done a lot of cool things with this bike. And I would have to say this is probably my favorite motorcycle that I own. The last time I had this bike out, about 2 years ago, I think, and a coworker of mine came out from Utah, and I let him ride my first bike, which was a Sportster 883R. I actually have a model of one right here. That's kind of what it looked like. And I went out on this bike, he went out on that bike, and we went through the mountains together. We went up Yuba, and unfortunate scenario that day is he wrecked my Sportster, and man, it's a pretty scary situation. He ended up in the hospital for a couple of weeks. The Sportster is crumpled up, totaled, frames bent. It's just sitting in my pop's house now in a pretty sad condition. So when that happened, I parked. I had a drone at the time. I took the drone out. I was flying the drone, and I said, hey, you go ahead, go for a ride. I'm going to get some aerial footage. And I could hear him carving the canyon out there. You know, I could hear the exhaust. And I actually caught him on the drone just moments before he wrecked. So I got that footage. And if you guys want to see it, comment down below. And let's get this video 100 likes. It's not even that many likes. Let's get this video 100 likes. So this Dyna behind me and this Dyna, we got a lot of history together. And it had a dead battery because it was sitting for so long. And I said, well, I'm going to get a battery. I'm going to get this bike back on the road. And I went to change the battery. I got a new battery. And I said, oh, man, you can see the rust here. And this paint here is kind of peeling. And just a little worse for wear. And kind of when you go over, I got a list. We could do this in another video too, because I'm trying to keep y'all's attention and keep this one a little short, even though it's a lot of me talking. But when you go over this entire bike, it looks really good. It's actually in pretty good condition, but you just see little stuff like the master cylinder here, the mirror there, and just little stuff here and there. And this bike's been rode hard and put up wet a lot of times. In fact, I've had this bike in, I think, 18 countries in Europe. I've parked this bike in front of Buckingham Palace, the Eiffel Tower, Munich, Germany. We've rode through the Swiss Alps and tons of countries in between. And I've had it in a heck of a lot of states in the United States. And so, like I said, the bike's very special to me. This is a neglected Dyna FX DXT, and I'm going to do a video series on it. I was just going to slap a battery in it and get it back on the road, but it just doesn't feel right. The bike's been sitting for so long, it needs some attention anyways. And so I'm going to do a little series about bringing this bike back to full health and kind of starting to get some big plans for the bike. The more I think about it, the more excited I get. And man, just seeing where y'all are at with it. If you want to see something like that, let me know. That's where we're gonna go with this thing. So that's it. 2001 FXD XT, really good shape overall. But when you start to peel the onion back, it needs a good bit of attention, and we're gonna give it that attention. We're gonna go through that list that I showed you. I've made up of a lot of things it needs doing to this bike. I think there's probably a good bit of content that could be done. I think we could get the bike back on the road fairly quickly, and then we could do a little here, a little there. This bike could be a main staple on the channel. And we got some other stuff going on in the background. I got a Trailblazer SS out there. If you've been with the channel for a while, you've seen the Trailblazer SS, but there's a whole story how I ended up with it and what's going to be happening with it. So not only motorcycle content, but primarily motorcycle content is what we're going to be doing for a little while, especially with where I live. And when we go somewhere else, you know, things will change. So shoot, like I said, 100 likes, drop me some comments down below. See, you know, I'll see how this video does and see how much energy I really want to put into it. I could just turn the wrenches on this bike and get this bike going, or I could record, turn, edit, record, turn, edit, and share this process with you guys, which I'd really like to do. But if it's not going to be well received, I'm not full of free time these days. So I want it to be value added to the world if I'm going to do it. So let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch y'all hopefully in the next one.